Okay, I wanted to make another video. This is right now about 7:35 in the evening. Still kind of sunny outside. It's getting closer to sunset. Um, yeah, as part of mindfulness practice, I was thinking I just took a quick shower, and well, the shower is not part of mindfulness practice, though it could be because Thich Nhat Hanh does say that you can do anything mindfully. So if you can eat mindfully, take a shower mindfully. When you walk, you can walk mindfully. And he actually has a book series where there are small books, and my books are all over there. Sometime I have it around, so I was thinking it is around. Is the how to book series. So it's how to relax, how to smile, how to eat mindfully. Those books, they're small tiny books, and they're pretty good to read because they're like little small sections with a title. I like those also. Alice, my daughter, she usually likes those books too because they're kind of tiny. So I'm actually gonna grab one of those books. Okay. Hey, oops, the camera. Okay, so I'm setting the camera again. Yeah, these are how they look like. This one is called How to Smile. So they're his how-to series. They have 7 or 8 books like that. Also, there's one called How to Love. So I read only 2 or 3 of those, but I have Thich Nhat Hanh about 5, 6 more books. I do like all of them. He did write over 100 books, they say, on mindfulness. There are some, since there are so many books, and there are some repeats here and there, but they all are pretty good though, because I think, at least for me, when I started reading those books, I started Buddhism, learning about Buddhism very heavy since December, about 6 months ago. And I think I started reading Thich Nhat Hanh book, or listening to Thich Nhat Hanh book. I don't exactly remember. I would say maybe February-ish, sometime February or March. So it's been about 3-4 months. And I have learned things, very transformative things, related to day-to-day life, how to be more mindful from those books. And of course, there is other things. I'm following that Insight Timer app from last week and a half. But these books are so amazing. They're you can see this, for example, this one, The Joy of Meditation. It's just a little one page, and then this next page is a half smile. There's a talk about half smile in Buddhism a lot. So this one line says here, a tiny bud of a smile on our lips nourishes awareness and calms us miraculously. It returns to us the peace we thought we had lost. Our smile will bring happiness to us and those around us. So, it's very simple, very simple. And all the pages are like that. It has a title and a little write-up. And most of his books, 100 Years from Now, Equanimity, Depression, Restoring Communication, Non-Self. And this one is very interesting. It says, the dandelion will keep your smile. So I read them quite a bit, and it helps. It's very calming, and what I like most about it is the simplicity. I don't know, as I talk about the simplicity, a simple thing comes to, or interesting thing comes to my mind, how they talk about Steve Jobs made the Apple Apple computers or the iPhone or iPad, very simple. I think Thich Nhat Hanh is like that for mindfulness. I mean, he's known as the I think father of mindfulness, who started the mindfulness movement, or however you call it, as the mindfulness for the whole world. He has a lot of practice centers all around the world, and the biggest one, I think, where he lived was called the monastery. It's the Plum Village in France, South France. Hopefully someday I get to go there. I feel sad though that I got more into his books and things after he died. He died about 2 years ago, January 2022. I think he was 95 years old. So I got into it after 2 years. I remember a couple of years ago, a friend of mine actually did give me one of his books, or suggested one of his books. It's called, I think, the Art of Communication. At that time, when I started listening to it, I'll be honest, I did not fully connect. I think a lot of time it is about what's going on in our life and where our mind is and what resonates, right? So at this time, I think it was really, really, really resonating with me, and for some reason back then it did not. So I think it's always, you gotta go with what resonates with you. Sometimes Buddhism resonates, sometimes Hinduism, Christianity. Like for me, I'm following Buddhism at the same time I do Hinduism also. I'm learning a little bit about Christianity. Now people would say that I'm doing too much, but it's kind of, I don't know, I find peace in different ways, so I do it. Yeah, this is another book of Thich Nhat Hanh, The Energy of Prayer. I bought this book. I have the audio version that I keep downloading. Not downloading. It's actually an app called Hoopla from the library. So yeah, I keep borrowing that book. I have listened to it many times, and I like this book because it really, and if you see this picture is actually Thich Nhat Hanh doing like in Hindu thing we would call like a namaste, sort of like this. This is what he's doing to God. You kind of bow down to God and pray. That's the picture. So yeah, in this book he talks about how we can make our prayers more effective, and it is not only about how to pray in Buddhism. It's generic. Like if you are praying to Jesus, or if you're praying to Hindu gods, or any other types of God, the message is that the prayer is more effective when we pray with our mind, body, and speech. And because when we are praying, it's almost like a meditation. When we are praying, so we are praying, but our mind is somewhere else. Our subconscious is taking us somewhere else. Then the prayer is not as effective, because our mind, we are speaking the words maybe, but our mind is somewhere else. So our mind, body, speech, all, when it is together and we are praying, then we connect with the divine, whichever we will believe is your higher self, or if you believe that God is within you, or if you believe God is a separate entity. All in all, overall, the way to connect with the universe, the higher self, whichever way you believe, it is with that your whole mind, body, speech, or mind, body, spirit, sometimes we call it that way, But I have been referring to speech more as I listen to these books more, because I think speech is a significant part of it, because that is how we communicate our thought, right? Because we have all these thoughts and feelings in our mind. We have our body language, but at the same time, what we are speaking, the words are important. That is what is creating our reality, our world. So yeah, so this book is about that. I really like it. I have listened to it a lot. The paper book I have read here and there a little bit. I'll probably read more. It's the same, the paper book and the audio book. But sometimes I just like to read the books. It's interesting because I actually haven't read a paper book in like a very, very long time. So this was also something new that I started getting into the paper books recently, and Alice also kind of likes it, so sometimes she and I would read it before going to bed, and so that's kind of peaceful to read these books before going to bed. So yeah, so I'm gonna try to ground myself with a few deep breaths and calm my body down. It's a mudra position. So this is an inner peace mudra position, and I'm gonna kind of do some deep breath, taking the breath all the way down to my root chakra. Taking the positivity and gratitude inside me, and take all the emotions and feelings that no longer serves me. As I was breathing in, I could smell the incense, because I did a little puja, so I could smell the incense. It felt good. Yeah, this video is it's helping me a lot, so I'm glad I started doing that. I remember one of the meditation related meetup I attended a couple of weeks ago. One person said she also is doing something like this. At that point, it was a month ago that I thought, but I haven't started it yet. So now I know that I remember she was saying that was kind of helping her. So now I see how this is really helpful. It kind of keeps you in check for your emotions in some way, which is good, because as you go around the day, do different things, it's so easy to get on the autopilot. So this is almost like, it works like a reminder not to go on autopilot, kind of watch our emotions, and as you keep doing that, it kind of becomes a habit, right? That's the purpose. That, and habit formation takes time. It can take anywhere between 1 to 2 months. And after that also, even if you don't do it daily, you have to kind of continue doing that. It's almost like going to a gym. Speaking of that, I got to probably go to gym tomorrow. I joined a gym this week, and then I went, I think on Wednesday or Thursday, one day I went, but after that I didn't, so I had to go to gym. So this practice, mindfulness practice, is also like going to a gym. So you gotta do it, because even after it becomes a habit, if we don't do it, our mind tends to go in that version. Remember, we have this two versions. One is this nice and kind and inspiring. The other is sad and anxious. So we want to activate this version whenever we can, and that is possible when we are mindful, because we are more mindful about what we're doing, saying, or thinking, right? Because if we are thinking something positive, only then we'll respond and we won't react, right? And that is what is important for your peace, for peace, for spreading the peacefulness around you, for the people around you, for the world. So yeah, keep practicing, keep doing something that helps you to stay grounded, to be more mindful, and ultimately gives you the peace and happiness. And in my case, I always also try to remember the connection with the sun, the moon, the sky, the trees, and the Mother Earth, air, water, the constant in life, right? If you think they are there when we are born, and they're all throughout our life, all the way till we die. So even though there are changes in life, those are the things that are constant in your life from all throughout your life. Yeah, and that is something very good to imagine that. Yeah, that is something I think, I don't know, it's not directly from the Buddhism or the Thich Nhat Hanh books. He does talk about the blue sky and the sun and the tree, but I think somehow I started kind of feeling that the connection, that how that could be constant in our life, and it does give me some comfort thinking about that. So I keep thinking about that, and sometimes I talk about in many of these videos about that connection. With that, yeah, I was thinking to finish the video, but then I kept talking again. So now finally, with 3 more deep breaths, I'm gonna finish.